Like, just fucking, what do you want from me? Like, what the fuck do you want from me? Oh, thank fuck. Okay, good. Good. Don't have to touch this shit anymore. So, this is a weird case because, like, obviously Aeon did not make this with intentions of it getting rated. Like, very clearly this was made, like, as a bit of a joke, right? I was recording, right? Thank God. Okay. Right? Very clearly this level was made as a bit of a joke, right? So it feels kind of weird to look at it and, like, critique it and whatever, but it's still worth mentioning the parts I didn't like because it did get rated, so people are going to beat it, right? And I don't think that this is stuff that, like, necessarily should be changed, because then the point of this level is kind of defeated, right? If we go back and bug fix and make it good, well, okay, cool, it's good now, but, like, it's not funny anymore, right? So, this is a really weird case. My major issue with this level, in general, was that the ship parts from 50 to, like, 65 were way too hard for where they were in the level. And keep in mind, I say way too hard, knowing full well that balancing was not even, like, really sort of a consideration in this level. Like I say, it was made as a funny haha joke, right? And then surprise it got rated because Rob is funny haha funny man. Or maybe mod team, who the fuck knows, right? But it was made as a joke. So take everything I say here with a grain of salt. I'm going to pretend that I'm critiquing this level as if it was intended to be good, but know that the whole time I say everything, I know it was a joke, okay? So, like, just level set the expectations. But the ship parts from 50 to 65 were way too hard for where they were in the level. Like, just brutally difficult. The ship, just the genuine ship skill required for the first bit at 50, especially the pinch at 51, coming out of that, like, screen scroll up transition, and then all of a sudden, tiny little less than one space ship gap, fuck you. It was like, that was ridiculous, and I thought that was pretty horrible. The little, like, thing at 54 with the, like, 2 spikes on top and the 1 spike in the middle on the bottom, I died to that quite a bit. That was also brutal. The one-click UFO at, like, 59-60-ish, I want to say. I died there twice, mostly because I was an idiot. You have to go into that portal really, really low. Or at least, like, low enough, right? Like, you can't go into it in, like, that, like, middle zone where it feels comfortable to go into it. Or else you just, like... The fuck? Is that the ice cream truck? I think it is. I don't know if that's coming across the mic. That's the ice cream truck. But you have to, like, hit that weird. And then the wave after that, you have to do, like, the double click to, like, adjust yourself in the transition, which is not great to begin with. Like, already a problem, right? And I did die to that at least once from 0. But then the spikes on the ground, right before the last click. I mean, I say last click, it's like the, like, third click, but whatever. Those were just kind of annoying. I died there a lot. And then the fucking orb ship, dude. Oh my god, this ship never got consistent. No matter how much I practiced it, there was no way to get the ship consistent. Like, everything else in this level got consistent enough that it felt like I can probably pull this off from 0. Including the fucking bullshit, like, tiny little gap at 51 that I was just talking about that was impossible. Like, even that had a degree of consistency to it. But maybe I just suck at it. I don't know. But the orb ship felt like 10 times harder than anything else in this level by a landslide. It was just, like, well, like, awful. I mean, it was just awful. And it was just, I don't know. It was terrible. Other parts that I had a problem with, I had the fucking UFO part at 77. is just awful. Like, the transition in gives you no time to react. The actual, like, timings you need are way too precise, especially for something at 77. The rest of the end is pretty much fine. The blind straight fly is not my favorite. There's a few blind timings that aren't great, but overall they're manageable, right? Like, you can get through it. It got fairly consistent. It wasn't too much of a problem. The beginning had some annoying bits. The first ship was impossible until I did it about, like, 1,000 times, and then it was like, okay, that's fine, you know, like, now it makes sense, now I get it. The first wave is actually surprisingly easy once you get it down, which is something I never thought I would be saying about that wave, because looking at it and trying to learn it, it was impossible, and then once I, like, did it a few times, I just had it down, and I had a really good pass rate at that wave. The two-click UFO is free as fuck. I didn't have a problem with that, really. The, like, 2 clicks, fall into the gap, hit the pink orb was fine, ship's fine, tiny little ship's fine, and then this UFO at, like, 24, 25, the little fucking, like, because it's annoying because the way you enter the UFO portal, like, where you enter the UFO portal and the momentum you have going into it, determines whether or not you can do the next part successfully, pretty much. I mean, I think technically most any entrance in that UFO is in theory possible, but if you go too high, you need a bunch of clicks right away to get down to the down gravity portal in time. And then you have a ton of downwards momentum going into that down gravity portal, so then you need to do a bunch of clicks to get back up. And if you go too low into the UFO portal, like the very beginning UFO portal, then 1 click will get you into the blue portal fine, but then you have to do like 2, maybe 3 to get into the yellow portal. So there's like a sweet spot in the middle-ish. I found it to be like right above the center of the portal, where you can click just once for everything, which was like tolerable. The invis part is free, like actually like felt like a medium demon. And the ball part was very, very difficult until I got it down, and then once I got it down, it was okay, but then, like, as I played it more, it got harder. I don't know if that makes sense, but the more I played that ball part, the harder it got. The, like, fast 6 click at the end is really annoying, especially because the click you do off of the platform on the ground with the one-time speed portal sticking out of it pretty much determines whether or not you can survive the big spike on the ground below the first blue orb. I don't know, again, if you are not, like, panning back and forth to the completion in my speech right now, not a lot of this is making sense, but if you're going for this level, these are useful tips, so I'm going to say them. The click off of the ground with the speed portal pretty much determines whether or not you're going to die to that spike, which was really, really, really irritating, and I really did not like. But like I say, a lot of this was pretty okay. I thought this was kind of fun when it was, like, a funny little haha thing. I was practicing this, and I got like a 40-something to 100 run in virtually no time whatsoever, and I was like, oh, cool, maybe I'll be able to pull this off. And then I got like a 28 to 100, a 27 to 100 in the next like hour or two, and I was like, oh, that's pretty good. And then I just like could not put this thing to rest last night. Like, I just couldn't fucking do it, and I don't know why. I died to 96 twice. I never died in the straight fly at the end. I died because I didn't make it into the straight fly at the end, right? I wasn't aligned right, and that was another thing. That transition into that straight fly is not my favorite. I think it's probably the best you could have hoped for given the circumstances, because if the 2 like gravity portals weren't there, then you just go flying down, and then it's a bullshit transition for that reason. If you put blocks there, maybe that'd be better, but it wouldn't be super great, because trying to straight fly off of blocks is not my favorite thing in the world. I don't know. This whole level is very, very weird. I don't think I can say I enjoyed it with how angry I was getting at it towards the end. But it's definitely not bad, and if you're better than I am at this game, especially if you have good ship control, I could see this being like an easy one afternoon learn and beat, right? Because there's a few tricky ship parts, and like one hard wave, and a few bullshit timings to deal with, and once you've learned that, and you get past the fucking terrible choke points, it's pretty much fine, right? Zeronium gave this an 8 out of 10, but Zeronium gives everything like an 1,000,000 out of 10, so, you know, whatever. I don't know. This was okay. This was fine. This was whatever. This is much better than I expected it to be going in, and it's much better than I thought it was from the first few practice runs I had done of this, like, forever ago. But it's not great. I wouldn't, like, recommend it. I'm not enthusiastically going to say, play this level, but if you're thinking about it, know that it's not as bad as it looks. But don't expect, you know, a masterpiece by any means. And if for some reason, Aeon, you're watching this, hi. Hello. Hey. How's it going? Hi, Aeon. Hey, Aeon. Hi. I don't know, whatever. Yeah, and that's the thing. 3328 attempts. I'd say about half of these attempts, and I'm fairly confident that that's not really a too bad of an estimate. At least 1,000 of these were deaths to the first jump. Because the first jump's just brutal. So this is a very attempt grindy level. I'd say, like, realistically, this probably took me, like, 2,500, like, attempts on a level that the first jump isn't bullshit on. You know what I mean? Like, it's very, very attempt grindy, but I don't think that dying to the first jump over and over really adds to the difficulty when the first jump in this level isn't like a frame perfect Koa type bullshit click, and it's very well indicated and whatever, right? So where do I think this falls difficulty wise? Definitely not an entry level extreme, but easier end for sure, especially if you're good at, like I say, if you're good at ship, this is a fucking breeze. If you're not good at ship, like me, the ice cream truck's back. Oh my god. If you're not good at ship like me, this is quite a difficult challenge. So, you know, maybe do it to learn ship, get better at ship, improve at ship. I don't know, fucking whatever. But yeah, this is a funny one to have done, so I'm glad I did it, but yeah. Don't know if I'd recommend it. Yeah. Don't think I'd recommend this one. But I'm going to cut the recording here now. Bye.